Hello and welcome in to Bad for Baseball, the baddest baseball podcast on the internet. I'm your host, Nicholas Blaylock, joined by Adam Peddle. Today, folks, we got a lot to discuss, a lot going on in the baseball world. Some blockbuster trades could be happening imminently at this point with some surprising suspects, actually, that we really got to get into. We're going to talk about that later. But first, there is one team in the American League who is doing incredibly well right now. One other team who is just completely falling off of a cliff. So we want to talk about that first, and then also the home run derby. The participants are released, and what in God's name is going on with Wander Franco? All of that, folks, and more in this one. First things first, though, Adam, how are you doing?
Doing good, man. I'm doing good. It's good to have you back after a little vacay out there. Not only really vacay, visiting some family.
We were gone for 2 days. I played 9 holes of golf.
Yeah.
I really got no rest at all, but it was still good nonetheless.
Yeah. I mean, you got no rest the other day playing 36 holes of golf.
Yep, you got to do what you got to
it.
do, man. You got to do what you got to do. How was Patrick filling in for me? You guys comment down below. How was he?
He wasn't bad at all. He had some different. I love like when Patrick comes in because he always has like different, insight.
Ridiculous.
We're different like a point of view of baseball than we have because we're in the thick of it. He's just on the outside looking in. And he just says it what it is. Like for Wander Franco, he'd just be like, "Yeah, that guy's fucked."
Yeah,
and it'd be plain and simple.
Well, I'll tell you what, man. I feel like that analysis
That's
is
true.
gonna be pretty close to where we're at.
What else could you say? We'll get into it later. But what else could you say about Wander Franco other than this guy's legitimately fucked?
That might actually be the only headline that is worth reading at this point.
Wander Franco fucked.
Literally
breaking.
Well, speaking of just people who are fucked in general, we got to talk about the New York Yankees organization as a whole right now because they are just falling down. They're in free fall. Really, they are.
Yeah,
they keep spiraling down the standings right now. The Boston Red Sox, actually, I mean, we were counting them out off the beginning of this season. Walking into the preseason, we were looking at them maybe 4th, 5th in the division. They could overtake the Yankees at this point with the way that they're playing baseball. And the New York Yankees, man, they were so good. Incredible to start the year. I was looking at their record by month. Incredible, like 4-0 in March. Obviously, they swept the Astros in the first series, but small sample size. But then incredible in April. I think in May they were something like 21-7, so really good. And then even in June, where they started to fall off the table, they still managed to finish June positively 14 and 13.
So July's got to be bad.
Well, July so far, I think they're 2-6. And also too, keeping in mind June. It was June 15th. It was right at June 15th, the middle of June, that they started to go through whatever collapse they are going through right now, and they just cannot seem to right the ship.
Yeah, the collapse is pretty bad, guys. Last 21 games, they've only won 6. So they're 6-15 in the last 21 games. And in the last month of baseball, one of the worst pitching staffs in baseball, this turnaround of the pitching staff, being one of the best to one of the worst, it's got to be studied. Because how do you go from the number 1 pitching staff to rank 29th in the last 30 days at a 543? And it's everybody. It's Luis Hill. Rodon is looking like what I wanted as a Blue Jay fan, Rodon to be. Rodon is just ass right now. Everybody on that staff is just not finding it. Offense, too. They lost Giancarlo Stanton, and it felt like, not saying it's all his fault, everybody in that lineup is kind of struggling except for, the usual suspects like Judge and Soto. But it felt like once Giancarlo Stanton got hurt, the whole offense looked weak. The lineup had no depth. It's wild how you remove one guy and everybody suffers.
Yeah, of course, right? I think that they're learning right now, and this is something that as an outsider looking in, I looked at that New York Yankees lineup and I was like, you know what? You got Judge and you got Soto, and that's amazing, and Stanton, we don't know what we're really going to get from him. This is all preseason.
This is preseason,
right. But I was thinking kind of the same thing in terms of how much depth do you really have right now? Now, they do have Ben Rice. He's come up and he's starting to do a little something. So maybe there's something there for the New York Yankees. But you look at some of those other guys like an Alex Verdugo, like a Gleyber Torres.
Oh, God.
You were supposed to be good at baseball. What happened to you? And how about Anthony Volpe, dude? I was doing a little bit of a deep dive here into Anthony Volpe. And keeping in mind, this was a very highly touted prospect, somebody that, New York Yankee fans if you said a bad word about Anthony Volpe, even after last year, right? Because last year defensively he was very good, but offensively there were a lot of holes in his game. There was some stuff to
you were hoping for some
about.
improvement about. Maybe he's got some stolen base threatening him, and if he can get on base a little bit, he could be a threat.
And they were, internet warriors on Twitter, like coming to bat for this guy. And now the entire script has been flipped. I look at Anthony Volpe right now. He can hit the fastball. He cannot hit anything else, man. The breaking stuff, the off-speed stuff, it's just not there. He's batting like 200 on the dot for both of those. He's not walking. He's a leadoff guy, or was a leadoff guy.
He's down batting in the 6th spot, 7th spot now.
But he never walks. He strikes out a decent amount. He chases a bunch. It's just like it's not working out. And so far, the OPS is 677 on the year, and it is dropping like a stone because in the past, let me have it here. I wrote it down. Yes, in the past 30 days, he's batting 186, and his OPS is 477.
All right, so what do you do if you're the Yankees? Do you keep riding this guy out because he was supposed to be your next shortstop of the future, and right now he's looking like a little bit of a failure? I know it's still early into his career. We got to give him a little bit more time if I'm a Yankee fan. But you're trying to win right now, right? There's no better time than to right the ship right now. I mean, even the general manager Cashman's like urging for a turnaround right now, and they might go crazy at the deadline to fill up all these holes. Is Volpe one of those holes that they could potentially fill up?
So here's the thing. Here's the thing about Anthony Volpe, right? Defensively, amazing. He is ranked in the 99th percentile and outs above average. Okay,
great.
So here's the thing. That alone for me has earned you your spot. You get to if you have a very strong defensively first shortstop, then that's a luxury in MLB, right? Like there's not a lot of teams that have that. Coming from Toronto Blue Jays fans, let me tell you, it is fucking shit on the other side of things sometimes. What I think that the Yankees need to do, though, is they keep Volpe where he is. They take the pressure off of him. Hopefully the offensive numbers come around. But if you can keep playing defensively the way that you're doing, fine. We do, however, need to address some other positions.
Yeah.
We need to get some bats in. And, you keep doing what you're doing. Hopefully you improve. But, like, Gleyber Torres, come on, man.
Yeah.
That's not enough.
Gleyber Torres got over at third base. They're playing DJ LeMahieu, and DJ LeMahieu's batting 9th for them. He literally has an OPS of 525 and 109 at-bats. That's ass. And even some of the outfield, too. Like I like Verdugo out there. Judge will play center field. And then who do you have over there as well? You got Grisham playing a lot of center field nowadays as well. Trent Grisham he was just a toss-in in that Soto trade. Like, did they really want Grisham? Maybe a little bit of depth, but is the defense? Knowing us being Blue Jay fans, you could be okay with one, maybe two defensive guys. But once you start getting up there, it's like, okay, clearly our bats are struggling. Clearly we need more thump in this lineup. We got to punt some of this defense to get some offense.
Well,
maybe they make a trade at the deadline for some guys that we're going to talk about later.
Yeah. Speaking of defense, though, right, and I know that Trent Grisham is a defensively first type of guy. Did you see the play, though, that he made? It was like a week or so ago in the outfield.
I think I did.
Okay, so it was this I forget. I think it was the Cincinnati Reds. Correct me in the chat if I'm wrong here. But somebody hits a ball. It's a single. It is definitely a single, right?
Yeah.
In center field, it hits the ground. It's rolling, it's slowing down. All Trent Grisham has to do is just standing there. All you have to do is just like literally pick up the baseball and like the play is over. And with absolutely no care in the world, like this guy is out to fucking lunch right now.
Yeah.
Bobbles the ball, can't pick it up properly, is not even involved in this play at all. And the guy on base is like, oh crap, I got an opportunity right now. Turns on the jets, makes it to second base. Grisham is still out to lunch here, throws the ball back in. And then you hear from Aaron Boone after the fact, right? And he just gives him a pass. He just gives him a free pass. And
I would hate Aaron Boone if I'm a Yankee fan.
Exactly, right? That's the type of shit, right? And again, I'm not a big Yankee supporter here, but I can fully understand how that would just be absolutely infuriating, right? The one thing that you do, Trent Grisham, the one thing you do is you're supposed to play good defense, and not even you are mentally here right now. And then our manager is giving you a pass.
Yeah.
No free passes right now.
Now, I want to throw this out because I want to jump off that Aaron Boone train. I've been seeing a lot of people talking about Aaron Boone, how, like, he's got to go. And I made a tweet about, like, the Yankee skid on the Bad for Baseball Twitter. And, like, we got a small community, so shout out to the one guy who replied. He was like, Aaron Boone, this is why he needs to go. And so is it all Aaron Boone's fault? Because I'm an outsider looking in. I mean, for the last few years, everyone's been blaming Aaron Boone.
Yeah.
If they actually collapse and lose this all, I think that's fire-worthy for Aaron Boone. I mean, who else are you going to blame? The team's in shambles. The offense is in shambles. I don't know how the pitching staff turned around so bad, but there has to be a scapegoat on the Yankees side of things.
Sure. Yeah, and just to I guess jump off of that Yankees pitching staff thing, right? The fact that you were literally number 1 in the league in May,
and then 30th,
and then 29th
or 29th,
in June, ERA more than doubled. Somebody's got to take a hit for that.
Like, how is it possible
I don't actually know.
every single person starts struggling?
Yeah.
Unless there is a philosophy that the Yankees pitching staff or pitching coaches have implemented, and it's like a one size fits all for all their pitchers, and then all of a sudden, like, they're pitching, which I highly doubt that.
It's not that.
But that's literally what it feels like. It's like, we figured out the one thing, and now we could beat every single one of your pitchers.
Doesn't make sense.
You always start with a fastball. You always on 0-2 go curve. Obviously, that's like baby food, like that's obvious, but that's what it feels like. Looking at how they've literally collapsed in June.
Yeah, again, that to me makes absolutely no sense at all. It literally is like you guys got cursed. Overnight, somebody put a hex on you, and this entire rotation has fallen off.
It was Grimace.
It maybe so,
maybe
right?
It
maybe
was.
all of the love, the
In
second that the New York Mets started playing good, the Yankees fell off, right? Maybe there's just space enough. It's like this town ain't big enough for the two of us, and there really is only one squad that can be popping off at one time.
Right
now it is the New York Mets. To jump back though to that Aaron Boone conversation, I think that, along with the failures, because there's definitely failures going on with this New York Yankees staff, you do need to give them credit, right? When they were doing amazingly, when they were the best team in baseball, when it was like, oh, they're a sure in to win the American League East, nobody was talking about how Aaron Boone managed this team, right? So it's like with the ups also come the downs. Now they are in a deep free fall, and I do think that Aaron Boone could be a lot better. I did actually see right before recording this, John Boy had him on.
Oh yeah,
and there was a whole conversation about it was Garrett Cole and it was Rafael Devers, and and Garrett Cole was in the 5th inning, and Rafael Devers was coming up to his 3rd at bat, and on his 3rd at bat against Garrett Cole in the last 3 or 4 years, Rafael Devers has an OPS of 3.06.
Oh my fuck!
Like legitimately,
that's insane.
Yeah, insanity. Like it's like he's had 11 plate appearances and got a hit more than half the time, and
extra
5
base
of them
hits,
are homers.
Yeah.
Like legitimately,
wow.
For whatever reason, Rafael Devers is the one guy in the league who has just figured Garrett Cole
He's
out.
the Messiah, third time up against Garrett Cole.
and John Boy was like, well, why did you let him pitch to him, right?
Yeah.
And literally Aaron Boone's response was, well, it's Garrett Cole, and those numbers are going to come around, which I do understand.
I get it.
But at the same point, I mean, like, this is the one guy in the league who absolutely destroys Garrett Cole.
I'm all for matchups when they make sense, and there couldn't make any more sense than a 3.0 OPS or whatever the fuck it is.
It's insanity. Like, it's literally, I've never even seen anyone hit like that before, And
you know what? Like, there's also, I hate to play devil's advocate for managers because we love to blame them for a lot of things, but, like, there's so much information out there that, there could just be, like, people can overlook information like that where it's like, oh, you know what? Like, I just got to trust my guy. I use my eyeball test and just trust Garrett Cole. You know what I mean? So maybe he was doing it, but at some point you got to realize it's not going to work. It's not going to work, man.
They are going to need to figure it out soon, everybody, because like we said, Boston chomping at the bit.
4.5 games back.
Yeah, I mean, they're clawing their way into it, and Rafael Devers was delivering it to the New York Yankees, and they were picking up wins right now. And Baltimore isn't going anywhere at all. Like they've had it figured out for time right now. So Yankees, this trade deadline. I mean, first off, take the All-Star break. Enjoy the All-Star break, go home, reset, come up with a new pitching strategy because clearly, and a hitting strategy too, actually, because both of those things aren't working, and then make some absolute blockbusters at the deadline.
Yeah, my hitting strategy is go trade for Jazz Chisholm
is acquire everyone that you possibly can.
Literally. Now, another team that actually in the past hasn't really acquired everybody they can at the deadline, but this year it feels like, why wouldn't you acquire everybody at the deadline? I'm talking about the Minnesota Twins right now being the best team in baseball in the last 2 months.
Yeah.
It's insane. The Minnesota Twins, it feels like this is their year. Right now, they're currently second in the AL Central, and they're 2 games above in a wild card spot. And they're 53-40. But what shocks me lately of how they've been playing is the offense. The offense is unreal. I see something here tweeted by the Minnesota Twins, 28 consecutive games with a home run.
Right.
And an OPS in the last 30 days of 888.
I know. And
that's fucked.
It's insane. And you look at the second ranked team offensively in the last 30 days, because I was like, okay, you guys are really hot right now, but how are you in relation to the rest of the league?
Yeah.
Miles better, right?
Miles.
The next best team is the New York Mets, and they are doing very good. They have an 821 OPS, but that is the difference between an MVP caliber player and just an all-star, right?
Yeah,
We're looking at 60 to 70 OPS points right here of difference between the Minnesota Twins and everyone else in baseball. That is very impressive.
Yes.
I love that we're starting to talk about them a lot more, and that their offense is doing this, because it's giving them the credit that they deserve, because it's not like this is completely foreign. I was looking at their month-to-month records. I'll just read them out right now. In March, they were 2-1. In April, they were 14-12. In May, they were 16-12. In June, they were 15-12. And now in July, they're 6-3. So
just consistent.
Exactly. Just the mark of pure consistency. They have never had a 500 or worse month. They've never gone through any big bad stretch. They've always just been, we are an above average good baseball team. You cannot beat us more times than we beat you. We are going to be a playoff squad. And now you're seeing the ceiling of that, where it's like everybody's just coming together and destroying the baseball. So the Minnesota Twins at this point, I mean, now we're talking about them, so maybe this isn't even true, right? That the second that you start talking about them, this becomes not true. But they might be the most underrated team in baseball.
Oh, God.
Just because they've been consistent from day one. They are getting better.
Yeah.
They haven't even got to the trade deadline yet.
Right.
And they're still doing it.
They need to, if I'm the Twins, their pitching staff's good, but not good enough. I feel like they got to go make some big splashes and get some starting pitching.
Get one or two more guys.
Because their lineup is full, man. I was just looking up and down their lineup. They got this guy, Brooks Lee, who's 23 years old. This is his first season ever. Only 33 at-bats. This guy's has an OPS of 947. You've got Buxton, who's back. Miranda had that 12 consecutive at-bat hit streak.
Yeah.
That was insane. Kepler's great. Correa's having a resurgence of a year. He got a little bit of an injury concern. He's okay. Came back, hit a homer. Everything's fine. Jeffers is great. Everybody, and they've got great depth up and down that lineup. It feels like in the past, the Twins have not capitalized and made a big splash at the deadline. You have enough prospects in your systems to go make it happen. What's stopping them? What's stopping them? Go out and get all these one-year rental guys, especially starting pitching, and make it happen, man. I'm tired of seeing the Twins constantly lose, maybe because I relate to them a little bit with the Blue Jays, where they've had good teams, they go to the playoffs, and then they just can't ever find a spark.
Yeah.
This is the time to do it, Minnesota.
No, I think so. I definitely think so, right? And you're looking at the American League. If the Yankees are not going to be very good at baseball, right? And I know that the Astros are coming alive and stuff, but you got a legitimate shot. Before we move on and kind of just give our final 2 cents about them, I do want to talk just a little bit about Royce Lewis. This poor man. This poor man. He needs to, whoever his doctor is, get a new one.
Or his personal trainer.
Personal trainer, get a new one. Anyone that's got to deal with your health and your conditioning, they're fired. You need new people. This guy is one of the most exciting young guys in all of baseball. Seriously.
I know.
Incredible.
He's incredible
whenever he's on the field. And he just can't stay there. On the injured list again. This is the second time in the year that he's on the injured list. He was amazing at the beginning. Then he got hurt. Then he came back. And, no fall off at all. In fact, even better than that, he had a stupid amount of home runs in a small sample size of games. And now he is injured again. He has never been able to stay on the field, and it's it's killing his
career. It's also killing the Twins. Imagine having that guy in your lineup too.
Oh, I know.
Your OPS would be over 900.
Well,
like he's insane.
Like I look at his numbers right here. In year one, at age 23 as a rookie, right? He only played in 12 games, mind you, but in those 12 games, came up, wowed everyone, batted 300, had an OPS of 867. So now you're a Minnesota Twins fan. You go, okay, it's 12 games.
Yeah.
We don't know anything.
Right.
But like, who knows?
Who knows?
Right? Like
I mean, he was a highly touted prospect,
Yeah,
so you're like,
yeah.
okay, this is
It's
very
like,
promising.
Okay, this is we like what we're seeing right now. Lots of slug right there. Will 2023, 24 years old here, only appears in 58 games. He's injured. He's getting hurt. But when he's on the field, he's batting .309. He's got a slugging of .548. He's got an OPS of .921. You're the Minnesota Twins. You're going, oh my God, we have a guy.
Yeah.
We have a really good guy. And this year, 24 games played. He's batting .292. His slugging is .685, man. He's got 10 home runs in 24 games. I don't know what that puts you on pace for, but like a dumb amount.
Yeah.
A dumb
Yeah.
amount. And he is injured once again. I genuinely feel bad for him. I feel bad for the Twins.
He almost has a career of one seat. Like his career is almost 162 games. What's he at for total?
Okay,
120?
so his career is he's only at 94 games. Actually.
Oh my God!
Yeah, that's the thing. He's 3 years that he's been in the league. He's played in 94 games. His slash line, he's batting .303. He's getting on base .361. He's got a slugging of .584 and an OPS of .945. And in those 94 games, he has 27 home runs. Keeping in mind, that spans 3 seasons of time, right? So he was 23 when that started. He's 25 now. It's just like, it's genuinely so sad because this could be one of the more promising, one of the more exciting young guys in all of baseball.
Yeah.
And the poor kid just cannot stay on the goddamn field.
You know what this kind of reminds me of? Brian Buxton.
A little
or
bit.
Byron Buxton,
yeah,
excuse
a little
me.
bit, yeah.
Yeah, because Byron Buxton, his highest season ever was in 2017 where he played 140 games. Granted, that was one of his worst years, but he actually got an MVP 18 vote. So, but he started clicking in the later half of his careers when he had his OPS chilling in the mid 800s consistently. And look at like same thing with his game log since 2021, 61 games, 92 games, 85 games. This year, actually healthy,
That's
70 games,
Yeah.
and he's putting up. So I don't know. Maybe it's the Twins training staff, guys. What are we doing?
Someone's got
to go.
Somebody's got to figure that out.
Protect
right?
your prospects, man.
Seriously, dude. And that's the thing. You know, Byron Buxton, amazing.
He was a top prospect.
He's putting up right now. Royce Lewis could be even better than Byron Buxton. He's just got to stay on the field. Final question before we move on. Looking at the MLB standings right now. Let me pull them up here. Actually, I think I wrote them down. Okay. Looking at the MLB standings, looking at the American League Central, you got the Minnesota Twins, who are currently 53-40. You got the Cleveland Guardians, who are 57-34. That puts them 5 games back of the division lead. 5 games back. At this point of the season, we're halfway through the season. Who wins the American League Central?
I still think the Guardians. We talked about them before. Their offense is good too. Their defense is really good, and their pitching. Yes, it hasn't been fully there, but they've started to develop this one guy, Lively, who's starting to look like an actual good guy out of their farm. And I think they're going to find a way to just keep it going. Like the fact that they don't have a complete staff and they're still going, I like it. And they've got a higher run differential than the Twins. Granted, I think the Twins have more room to make a bigger move at the deadline just because of their whole payroll. But I'm still going to go Guard Dogs. I'm still going to go Guard Dogs slightly. I think Twins will catch up a bit, but I like them Guard Dogs.
I hear where you're coming from. I'm so split on this. Please comment down below. Let us know. Tweet at us. Who do you think is going to win that division? For me, I do think it is assuredly going to be one of those 2 squads.
Yeah.
I mean, I like Kansas City, but I just don't think that they're there yet. I think it's going to come down to the final week of baseball. I think
For sure.
I think by the time that we get into September, the difference is not going to be 5 games. It is going to be 1.5 games.
1.5.
You know, like it's going to be something so small like that it's going to be the swing of one series. And I genuinely don't know who is going to win, but I think that the difference between the two of them are going to look eerily close.
Who would have thought that the most exciting division coming down to the wire would be the AL Central?
Oh, I know, right?
Nobody. Because the AL East is... I mean, it might be interesting if Boston gets into the mix and fights for like a division title and stuff. That'd be pretty cool. Kind of like the AL West 3-way battle last year. But yeah, this AL Central is looking good. And hey, don't count Kansas City out just yet. I mean, all I'm hearing from their GM is we're going to make huge moves at the deadline. And if they go and they make huge moves, that could be huge.
I think that they're going to make huge moves, and I think that they're going to be a very scary wild card team. And I don't think that they're going to win the division yet.
Only 2.5 games behind the Twins.
Yeah.
So
no, I know that's the thing. Like they're in the mix for sure, but the Twins are just playing some incredible baseball right now. So are the Guard Dogs. So I think it's going to be one of those two teams, and it's going to come straight down to the wire. Let's move on and discuss something very exciting. One of the most exciting events in baseball every single year, Home Run Derby. Participants have been announced. Let me read them off to y'all. Where the hell is it?
Patiently waiting.
Here we go. All right. We got Gunnar Henderson. Exciting young kid out of Baltimore. You got Alec Bohm. You got Pete Alonso, the king of the Home Run Derby. You got Bobby Witt Jr. You got Marcell Ozuna. You got Jose Ramirez, Adolis Garcia, and then you got Teoscar Hernandez. You got a lot of sluggers in there. You don't have your Aaron Judge. You don't have your Shohei Ohtani.
No.
You don't have, your
Yordan Alvarez,
champ, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. But you do have some pretty big names nonetheless. Who do you like out of those 8 guys?
Yeah, first off, I just want to get my comments on like the actual, the participants themselves, because we were talking like, is this going to be an ass of a lineup because we're not having Shohei and Alvarez and all these guys and Judge? Actually, you know what? Pretty decent. I mean, Gunnar, Marcell, and Ramirez are 3, 4, 5 in terms of home runs total on the year. So,
sure.
You know what? It's a home run derby, and I like it. So, speaking of who I like, it's always so impossible to tell what a young rookie is going to do. Is the moment going to be too bright? Is he a good home run derby player? Because the difference between a guy who can hit home runs in the regular season versus a guy who can hit home runs at the derby. Take Vladimir Guerrero Jr., for example. The year he won it last year, he only hit like 26 home runs. Like, it wasn't sexy by any means. So who do I like? I do obviously like Pete Alonso. I think he's built for the home run derby. J-Ram, I know we were looking up odds earlier. Maybe we could bring him up in a bit.
Yeah.
But J-Ram I always don't like, because every time he's playing in the derby, he sucked. Like, I've always loved, because they've always underrated him, and I'm like, let's go pick him. And then he's always sucked. So every time.
Jose Ramirez, I think a lot of people are feeling the way that you're feeling right now. Jose Ramirez, as of today, these odds could shift. He is currently tied for 7th or 6th or 7th in odds with Teoscar Hernandez. So definitely one of the underdogs walking into this event.
Yep. Yeah, no, I hear definitely underdog, but for a right reason.
Yeah.
Because he's never been good at it.
Yeah, and also, Pete Alonso, to your point, he is the favorite. I mean, that does make a whole lot of sense to me. I mean, the guy's won it twice before. However, did get knocked out in the first round last year. It took everything that Julio Rodriguez had, but he did knock him out.
Where was it here? I think I have the actual home run total. Yeah, Julio put up 41.
Yes.
And Alonso put up 21,
yeah.
which is okay. I mean, Guerrero, who won it, put up 26 against Mookie's 11. So, like, just the matchup knocked that guy out.
Yeah.
But then that's the thing. Then totally off topic, but Julio putting up 41, then puts up 20 and gets knocked out. Like, you just tire yourself out, man.
He fatigued himself.
Can't do that.
He fatigued himself. Yeah, that's the thing, right? Julio was up to the task. He just ran out of gas. It's like when you put up 41 home runs, clearly you can do it.
Yeah.
It's just like, But I do understand also where Julio was coming from, where it's like, I'm up against Pete Alonso.
Yeah,
I gotta go all out right now.
Yeah.
And then just like hope for the best.
And I'm assuming he went first because if he
Probably,
he would only have 22.
It would have only
which is why I hate this format.
Exactly.
Like this format.
Doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Either way, though, Pete Alonso is the favorite. Might be a little pissed off from getting knocked out in round 1 last year, looking for some revenge. Adolis Garcia is like the second-ranked guy. I don't know if I agree with that, man. I think Adolis is good, but he got knocked out round 1 last year.
He did, yeah.
I'm just not on it. Marcell Ozuna, for me, is somebody that I'm definitely looking at.
Yeah.
Like, I could see Marcell Ozuna coming back. It feels like he is... I mean, Marcell Ozuna was a villain for a little while.
Oh,
there.
yeah, for sure.
And
We've
he's
all
definitely
forgotten
had
about it.
A questionable past. He's got a DUI in there. There was some domestic stuff going on. So a lot of controversial
But it's okay. He's
stuff.
in the home run derby now. We're all gonna forget. Yeah. We're all gonna forget.
Everybody's forgotten now. But it does feel, from Marcell Ozuna's standpoint, right? You go through all this stuff, all this controversy. You're not playing good ball for a little while there because he wasn't. And now it's like he's come out on the other side, and it's almost like he's in this revenge tour, being like, "I am still here.
Yeah.
I made some mistakes. I'm trying to come back from them."
Mm-hmm.
I could see him going crazy.
I could actually see him going
this home run derby.
If you're not going to pick Alonso as the favorite, I would actually go and I'd pick Marcell Ozuna because he's got that like dad bod energy, and I'm just gonna fucking destroy baseballs. I don't care. I've done this before.
The one thing I'd worry about with him is running out of gas,
right?
Because he is a bigger boy for sure.
Mm-hmm.
However, the new format promotes being able to be more efficient with hitting home runs rather than just like taking a bunch of swings, right? Because I think you get 26 pitches. Is that right or wrong? There's a certain amount of.
All 8 players get 3 minutes or 40 pitches, whichever comes first. Yeah. Okay, plus 1 timeout. Okay, that makes a lot more sense.
So it's like, regardless of what happens, it's 40 pitches, right? You're gonna get 40 pitches. So it's all about being efficient with that. It's actually impossible now to hit 41 home runs like Julio Rodriguez did.
Thank God.
You just can't do that anymore, right? So ultimately, if you could end up with like 26, 27, you'd be feeling very, very good at that point.
Yeah.
It's like you're going more than half, right? So I think that from Marcell Ozuna's standpoint, that is actually going to be very, very helpful for him, being able to not tire himself out a little bit. So I do like him. I also think Gunnar Henderson is a sneaky shout. Like, I know that he's a rookie, but that kid's got pop.
That's the thing. Like, whenever rookies come into it, it's either like it's one or the other. Like, it's either like a Julio Rodriguez, where it's like, holy shit, like that guy murders and the pressures, and he loves the bright lights. Whereas like I've seen others that just flop. Yeah, just flop. And like Alec Boehm, I mean, what's he on the odds list? He's gonna be last.
He is undeniably the last.
Yeah,
he's
that guy felt like a random ad. Like, it's just like a random, like, we're just filling up holes.
Well, no discredit to Alec Boehm. He is having a great season, but I would agree with you that I don't look at Alec Boehm as a big power slugger hitter. Maybe he'll prove us wrong.
Yeah, watch. We're going to be wrong. Everyone take Alec Boehm right now.
I love
take
that.
The odds.
I would love to see that, right? That would be one of those things where it's like, okay, Alec Boehm put himself on the map. He just outslugged Pete Alonso and then outslugged Marcell Ozuna, and now he's in the final. It's like, oh my God, how did this happen?
Yeah, it's kind of like, I mean, Vladimir was on the map because of his dad, but like in 2019 when he was like squaring off against Pete Alonso, it was like, holy shit.
Hey, and that was a rookie.
Good. And he's a rookie, and so is Alonso.
Yeah,
both rookies.
Both guys, first year guys in the home run derby. So look, I mean, I like this cast a lot. Would I have loved to see Aaron Judge and Shohei Ohtani and Bryce Harper or something? Absolutely, I would have. I think that would be very exciting. However, I do think that there's a lot of good names here, and if you look at the home run derby as a way of honestly establishing yourself as well, right? Because we already know Bryce Harper, we already know Aaron Judge. What do I think about Bobby Witt Jr.? Is he going to be a strong power guy? You know what I mean? It's like maybe this is where he puts himself on the map like that. We already know that he's a star, but does he go to that next level, win a home run derby, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's exciting. I think that there is definitely a lot to like in this derby. If I had to put my life on it, though, I'm going to have to go Pete Alonso.
You kind of have to. I mean, he's literally done it. He's literally done it twice,
dude.
and then came. Was it second? No. He wasn't second. He was knocked out in the first round.
He was knocked out in the first round last year.
Yeah,
but I think this is his 5th time competing in the home run derby.
19. There wasn't one in 20, 21, 22, 23. Yeah, probably. I'm assuming.
So
I'm assuming he's done it every year.
Alonso is as seasoned as a Derby contestant can be, having previously won the 2019 and 2021 competitions. This will be Alonso's 5th Derby overall.
God.
So he's competed in 4 before. I don't know what happened in there's one that I can't remember.
I can't remember, yeah.
But he's won 2 of them, got knocked out in the first round and won.
Oh, I know. Remember that was the year that he was deadlifting and meditating.
Deadlifting and meditating.
And he got knocked out in the semis.
Oh,
yeah.
Big P.
He was really going hard.
He was like, dude, that's when you focus up a bit too much.
That's a little bit too much,
yeah,
bro.
It's like you're really thinking about the result, and then the moment gets too big. All right, I'm still riding with him, though, man. I still think he's going to be the guy.
Right.
So you guys let us know in the comments down below. Who do you think is going to win this home run derby? Let's move on and talk about something.
Not so fun.
Not so fun, man. And just like, crazy. Like, this is just crazy. Wander Franco, one of the more exciting young guys in baseball a year or two ago on the Tampa Bay Rays. Finally, they had a really strong hitting team, and it felt like he was going to be the future of that squad. Oh, my God. Like, we've seen controversies before, right? You've seen domestic stuff going down. You've seen DUIs from these sports players, sports betting scandals. But this is on a next level of crazy stuff, right? On July 9th, going to read this off here from MLB Trade Rumors. On July 9th, prosecutors in the Dominican Republic have brought formal charges against Wander Franco, tweets Juan Arturo Recchio of ESPN. Franco is officially facing charges of sexual abuse and sexual exploitation against a minor, according to the report. So, obviously, that is, extremely bad, but it's actually not a surprise for us because we knew that there was something coming there, right? It's like this has been something that he'd been allegedly had done for quite a while, and it wasn't extremely shocking when you got that news.
Right. The sexual abuse and the, a sexual exploitation of a minor is obviously the one that we all saw coming. The big shocking one's the human trafficking.
On July 10th.
How the fuck? Yeah, on July 10th, where he's now being accused of human trafficking and could be facing up to 20 years in prison for that charge. How in the fuck did you go? Like, the first one was already horrible.
Yeah.
Now you're involved in human trafficking. Now, obviously, that's all we know. We don't know anything else other than that. But based on the kind of person who he is, again, we have to go through the trial, and you got to find guilty. How the fuck is this guy playing Major League Baseball and getting involved in all this shit?
I have no idea.
How the fuck are you? How stupid do you have to be?
Like, actually, though, I mean, to be involved in some of this stuff, it's got to be a full-time job.
Literally.
It's
literally.
I don't
like,
actually know how the hell you'd have time to do all this shit when you're trying to play 162 games, And obviously, guys, I mean, it goes without saying that this is extremely terrible stuff going on right here.
Wander Franco is fucked. That is the headline, everybody. that is literally it.
That is, again, and this is all alleged, right? There's no 100% anything here. There needs to be a trial. Maybe he's innocent here. Maybe he's proven innocent. We don't know yet. But you're just starting to see a pattern here going down, right? Where it's just a few too many ducks are getting in line, where now it really is starting to look like, oh boy, this is not good.
It's like the old tale, the boy who cried wolf. Like you did one wrong thing, you lied. Well, this one you were sexually abusing a minor, and now you're human trafficking. It's like, well, of course, I have to believe that you're also involved in that.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Until proven otherwise, obviously.
Yes.
But what's fucked up for me and how stupid he is like, you are guaranteed $182 million, and you just, I don't know if this was before he signed the deal or whatever, or during, but you fucked up, dude.
No, I don't know. It's just insane, man. It really is insane. I don't know how on earth, you get involved in something like that. Again, it must just be a character thing, if
Maybe
this is to be true.
Brought up in a bad place, involved with some bad people, and that's just who he was.
Again, like this
just happened to be good at baseball.
We're not giving him a free pass in this at all, right? But it's like, how the hell did this happen, right? And how also, too, if you're the Tampa Bay Rays, if you're, the people in baseball, how did you not know about any of this?
I assume it's, you got to imagine, I'm just speaking on my ass right here, like, being involved in that much shit, like, there's got to be some sort of mental problem going on
that's
there.
what how did you not see this coming?
Think about Aaron Hernandez on the Patriots, where it's like, how the fuck did they not know he murdered 3 people? You know, it's like, it's the same shit where it's like, you just see they present, and people who are, I'm not accusing him of being this, but like people who are like, a little bit of a psychopath, or like some sort of have malicious intent. They hide themselves. They present themselves in a way to people who they want them to see him as. So he presented himself to the Tampa Bay Rays organization and the MLB is like, I'm a good player. Right. And then all this shit came up. It's like you don't see it until it's too late.
I don't know, man. It's just crazy, and it sucks. It really does suck for so many different reasons. Obviously, they got to do all the trial. They got to jump through all the hoops, and we hope that the actual truth about everything that happens comes out, and if he is guilty of this, then he will in fact be serving the time, which could be a long time. And I think at this point we can we were already saying this, but at this point, assuredly, we will never be seeing Wander Franco play in the MLB ever again.
And just for everyone's note, he's been put on the restricted list officially, finally, meaning he's not making any more money.
No money.
He's making no more money in Tampa Bay Rays. As we know, they will most likely be out of that contract. That honestly, that's good for them, their organization. I would have fucked them having to pay that guy and being in jail.
No. I mean, I'm not sure what the rules are behind that, but it's not like you can give this guy $182 million
for fucking sexual assault.
I'm pretty sure that like we can all agree. Actually, no.
Yeah. Like, okay, no.
You're not giving
actually,
him the
technically, you signed this contract. And fuck that shit.
No. So that's what's going on with Wander Franco, guys. Absolutely just sucks. Let's move on and discuss a very surprising, interesting trade rumor that is going on right now. Didn't see this one coming. You look like you have something you want to say here.
I do got to throw this out. This is going to be presented by Greta Bar, everybody. This trade rumor. It's trade season. You know what it is, guys. Go check out Greta Bar. They're all over Canada. They just opened up one here in Toronto. You got to go check it out. There's over 50 arcade games, beers on tap, different kind of cocktails, dance floors at night, turns to a club. So if you haven't already, make sure to go check out Greta. They're sponsoring all of our trade talks at this upcoming deadline.
Yeah.
Please continue, Nick.
Well, there is growing belief the Marlins will trade Jazz Chisholm Jr. at the deadline. Now, that was reported by the Miami Herald. From my understanding, they know what they're talking about. They definitely know a lot more than me in terms of Miami Marlins. But yeah, Jazz, former cover of MLB The Show, and certainly I think it's now starting to be realized one of the more overrated players in baseball.
Yeah.
However, all of that being said, we are still looking at a very young guy.
Correct.
We are looking at a player who's got several years left on his contract. Somebody who plays a position of value, somebody who's exciting. And the more that I think about it, the more I look at a Jazz Chisholm Jr. and I go, the second that you exit Miami, you are going to be great at baseball.
Oh, yeah.
I really, truly believe that.
One of the big names kind of being, or big team names being tossed around that it would be interested in a Jazz Chisholm Jr. is the LA Dodgers. And the LA Dodgers just have a knack for, I mean, isn't Jazz just the kind of guy who would fit so well on the Dodgers?
Sure.
I mean, personality-wise, positional-wise, of course. But that's the kind of guy where you had a bit of spark in 2022, became an all-star, 860 OPS, you're on the cover of the show. And then it just kind of fell apart. I mean, he had a lot of issues as well in Miami. Like, he was arguing with like veterans on the team and like how to operate and how to perform and like blah 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 and like how to hold themselves as like a ball player. Going over to LA, I think you can't really be pushed back on any veterans or leadership. Like, when you go to LA, you listen because you know how much of a dynasty that organization is and how they know how to play baseball. Going over there would change Jazz Chisholm for the better.
Dude, I think going over anywhere would change Jazz Chisholm for the better.
Except for Oakland.
I really do believe that in Miami, like, there's some type of rot going down in Miami right now.
Yeah.
Like, that organization has never been able to figure it out at all. Offensively speaking, pitching-wise, they know what's up.
Yeah.
They know what's up when it comes to the pitchers. But offensively speaking, they just cannot get it together. They've had years and years and years now where, it's like, oh, a promising young guy.
Yeah.
No, trade, now he's incredible,
dude,
right? We've seen this story before.
Dude, when Derek Jeter was involved in the front office of the Marlins, he left. But when he was involved, the reason why he left was because they weren't making any moves.
For real.
He literally saw the writing on the wall. We have one of the best pitching staffs in all of baseball. Why are we not going to get any hitters? Why are we trading all our hitters away?
Yeah.
What are we doing? It doesn't make any sense.
They're in purgatory right now, man. They're in this
They've
place
been there for
where,
like 20 years.
Yeah, for real, dude. I would genuinely hate to be a Miami Marlins fan. As long as I've been a baseball fan, the Miami Marlins have never been good at baseball. I've never seen them be good at baseball, and that's not because they haven't had opportunities. They haven't had good players. There have been good players, but they keep going to this place where they're never really fully going in on it. The offense is never hitting their potential. Like, Jazz Chisholm Jr. is somebody who I'm sure on another ball club would be back to his 2022 ways, right? I genuinely think that. I just think that the philosophy over there in Miami, it is not working. And if they do end up trading away Jazz Chisholm Jr., this will undeniably be one of the biggest trades this trade deadline.
I want to go back. I agree with you. I want to go back. They had a good roster of hitters when they had Stanton and they had Yelich and they had Real Muto. And it's like, and then what did they do? Buy, trade, goodbye, trade them all away, bye. Yeah. What in the hell?
What? Where is the return?
Where's the return? That? Why? It's like almost feels like they're Oakland Athletics, where you have a great group of guys, and then it's like goodbye, trade, everyone gone.
Yeah,
can't keep a dynasty going on, and that is the unfortunate part of baseball's whole payroll is sometimes you can't afford to keep guys, or I think more in Miami's case, you just don't have the right management, and they've been going through so many GM changes. Like Kim's gone now, they tried that out. The new person, I don't even know who their new GM is in now, but it's not working.
No,
it's a disaster.
There truly is a disease over there in Miami in the front office. And now, once again, the face of your franchise, the guy that was supposed to bring you out of this dark place offensively speaking, he is getting pissed off. He is underperforming. And now you were going to trade him away with, 2 years after this one on contract. And someone's going to scoop him up. Like the New York Yankees, for instance. Jazz Chisholm Jr., by the way, center field, second baseman, shortstop. So you can put him wherever the hell you want. Gleyber Torres, bye.
Sure.
Trent Grisham, bye.
Sure.
Like whoever, right? You go over to the New York Yankees, you're laughing, and you are going to be good at baseball now. That's going to happen.
He's also, Jazz is a big market guy. Exactly. He's got to be a big market guy.
Yes.
I mean, Dodgers, Yankees, I feel like that's got to be the team he winds up to. But you're right. He is going to be one of the bigger splashes at the deadline because, I'm looking around the league on who is going to be the big splash. I mean, you got Garrett Crochet. Could be a big splash. That's a big one. Luis Robert Jr. could be a big one. But there aren't too many other guys that are on the block right now that could really shock a lot of baseball fans.
Well, and Luis Robert Jr., yes, he would be huge ad for any team. But word on the street right now is that the Chicago White Sox are asking for just way
as you should
too much, understandably so.
Yeah.
So right now I'm looking at it and I'm going, maybe Jazz Chisholm Jr. is going to be the big blockbuster move. Miami is apparently open to doing this, right? It's and that's something that the White Sox, they've been very pushback against that. Like,
right.
They're kind of open to it, but they're also being like, hey, we need a lot here.
Whereas Miami's just like, whoever wants it, who's the first one?
Yeah, he's available.
The first offer on the table, accept.
Honestly, yeah, like
what it feels like, dude.
Anyone should go out and try to fleece the Miami Marlins.
Even the Toronto Blue Jays, we've traded with the Miami Marlins a couple times in the last few years. Every trade has felt like a huge W.
Yeah.
I think the biggest prospect we gave up was Jordan Groshans, but he didn't become anything.
He's not
they
even
ruined
there
that
anymore,
guy.
Dude.
They ruined him.
Wasn't he on the Yankees?
He was on the Yankees. They got cut. Now he's with Oakland. So it's like,
dude, honestly, like
take them for a ride.
Even if I'm a non-contending ball club right now, I might as well just call up the Miami Marlins and see what I could get. You're gonna have him for 2 more years.
Maybe the
you
Blue
don't
Jays
even need
should
to be
do
good.
It. Maybe the Blue Jays should do it.
No, seriously,
yeah,
though,
that's
actually,
a great
it's
deal.
like if you're going to, if they're gonna give him to you for practically free.
Oh yeah,
fuck it.
Let's go.
Yeah. Okay, Miami. You guys, I just don't know what's happening right there. Jazz, honestly, for the sake of baseball, kind of hope that he gets traded somewhere.
Yeah.
Because I do think he will pop off when he does. Let's talk about those Toronto Blue Jays right now. Some other exciting names that may or may not be on the trade block. Bo Bichette. He came out recently, had an interview with the San Francisco Giants reporter. And, I mean, he's doing what he needs to do for the press. He's saying what he needs to say. But effectively in the interview, he was talking about how he wants to be on a team that is winning. He wants to be on a winning culture. And it really did sound quite a bit like, hey, everyone, I'm Bo Bichette. I play shortstop. I want to be in a winning ball club, and I'll play good for you. That's kind of what I got. I saw somebody comment down below being like, say I want to leave without saying I want to leave. And that is what it felt like. So Bo Bichette, again, we'll talk about that. Maybe he could go, maybe not. Chris Bassett on the Toronto Blue Jays, that would be a big one. Vladdy, I think, is going to stay, even though they're doing terribly. But assuredly, all of the 1-year rentals on those Toronto Blue Jays, Yusei Kikuchi, Danny Jansen, they're going to go.
Yeah, we have an article right here by Mark Feinsted saying that, they're willing to move all those expiring contract players, but the guys with control, like the Bo Bichettes, the Vladdy, the Chris Bassets, are not being traded. Now, that's them just saying it because, if they did have some little speck of intention to trade, they wouldn't let anybody know because well, why would I lower my value of my guy? Like, yeah, I need more offer, a bigger offer for me to want to ship that guy away. And, man, if I'm the Toronto Blue Jays, and you guys know that we're Blue Jay fans here, what the hell are we doing, man? Bo Bichette's literally saying, point blank, I want to play on a winning team. I'm not playing on a winning team. Just go trade him to the Dodgers already. Go trade him away. What else? What other value are you really getting from him?
Yeah.
He has a negative WAR on the season.
Oh, I know.
What are you wasting your time for?
Dude,
just do it.
I'm getting sick and tired of Bo Bichette, and I was a big fan of Bo Bichette for a long
Me
period
too.
of time, right? And I want to like him. But the attitude from him, the way that he's playing baseball, I am getting sick and tired of it. And for him to go and for him to sit there, right, in that interview and to say with a straight face, with a smile, that, yeah, like, I want to be in a winning ball club. You have a negative fucking WAR, dude.
Literally. You are hurting the Toronto Blue Jays.
You are not helping this winning ball team right now. So, I mean, like, sure, they all want to be in a winning ball club. You got to play better too, right? So I feel like Bo Bichette is so mentally checked out right now of this team.
Yeah.
I mean,
he doesn't even see
argue.
He's not even have his eyes open. He doesn't have his eyes open.
No.
He doesn't see the reality of it.
No. So, I mean, like, Bo Bichette is somebody that at this point, sure, the Toronto Blue Jays are going to come out and they're going to say, they're not going to pull a Miami Marlins and be like, yeah, anyone who wants them, you can have them, right? Because that's freaking stupid. But I genuinely would not be surprised at all if later down the line the LA Dodgers get on the phone and, the LA Dodgers are showing strong interest in Bo Bichette. Blue Jays are listening. These are the headlines. These are the tweets that I think are going to be coming out in the next couple weeks.
Do you think that what do you think the odds are? I know it's always hard to predict, but the odds that Bo Bichette or Chris Bassett, like a 2-year rental guy, gets traded off the Toronto Blue Jays.
Well, okay, I don't know if I can attribute a number value to it, but I will say this: it's higher than you think. I think that it is higher than people are making it to believe right now.
This article says it's 0, where I think it could be in
it's certainly more than 0.
25, 30, 35.
It is definitely more than 0.
Yeah.
Right? It's like this is something that is going to be talked about, and this is just a negotiation tactic. I'm sure that they partially believe it too, right? They don't want to trade these guys away.
Of course.
But
again,
if the best offer is on the table, like, you got to take what's there.
Because you do have Ross Atkins. I always bring this up, even on our Blue Jays Today show. Ross Atkins trying to save his ass. You trade away Bo Bichette, I'm done now. Yeah. Unless you get a huge haul and you have a guy, a top prospect that's ready to go, September. You know what I mean? Unless you get that guy kind of back, it's kind of like I'm done. My job here is done.
Yeah. No, I certainly hear you there. But can you imagine Blue Jays, Bo Bichette, Jazz Chisholm Jr. swap? I'm here for it, honestly.
Fuck it.
I
don't care.
I mean, it'll never happen.
It'll never happen.
I'd be here for it. You want our underperforming superstar or your underperforming superstar? Miami goes, okay, sure, yeah.
Dude, all I see is one more WAR than Bo Bichette from Jazz Chisholm Jr. That's all I need to know. And 2 more years.
Yeah.
Or 1 more year than him, but 2 more years on top of this year. So let's see what happens, guys. I mean, there's going to be a lot of trade rumors coming out soon. What is it? July 11th. That is now 19 more days until the deadline, so there's assuredly going to be so much going on, especially after the All-Star break, too.
Yeah, I'd be looking at the New York Yankees. I'd be looking at the Minnesota Twins to really start to buy in that American League. Folks, thank you so much for tuning in to Bad for Baseball, Episode 6, guys. We're closing in on Episode 10. If you've been listening for a while now and have not hit the subscribe button or turned on automatic downloads on your podcast platform, then please do so. It helps out the channel a bunch. Every single Thursday we will be here, and hopefully soon we'll start doing some more trade coverage, maybe some live streams, maybe some other stuff coming soon, guys. We're only going up from here.
Guys, see y'all next time.